We formed a working group
called Shock Intervention. That stands for Solidarity for the homes of Occupy Canada. I would like to invite you, if you are interested in knowing more, about this group of people that is forming to travel from Occupy to Occupy when they're needed to help support against evictions, against weather threats, and to help organize situations of low numbers. Please come and contact me after the General Assembly. Or for more information, you can go to facebook.com /SHOC .OMTL or at SHOC.OMTL@gmail.com. Thank you. I love you.
There's a question about that.
Joe, just point of clarification. How do we identify you? What's your name, or how to take me?
My name is Ajay,
Sorry.
and I will identify myself through a mic check after the General Assembly.
I have one more announcement. Last Friday, there was an Occupy Economies event at the Design Exchange. This Friday,
General Assembly, City Hall, 7 o'clock every day.
I wanted to ask if we could take a moment to reflect on that. What I would propose that we close our eyes and think back. Saturday, October 15th. Arriving at St. James Park. The march. As it enters the park. And we see a village being erected around us. Think about the faces that you saw. The conversations that you had. And then the next day. We were still there. Do you remember what you did that day? Do you remember what happened? I won't go through every day in this way. But I want to give a couple of minutes for people just to remember what this past 40 days has been. And remember what sticks out in your head. And in your heart. And what this has meant for you.
Well, we lost our structures there at St. James.
Is this your new Occupy?
I don't know that for sure,
Spot?
but I don't know if I'd really want to occupy this place.
Occupy City Hall?
There's no grass.
Well, there's grass over there and over there.
It's a concrete jungle.
Sure is.
So how do you guys feel about the whole, St. James experience?
Well, I'm kind of glad it came to an end, but I was kind of really hurt the way that the police kind of, forced it on us.
Yeah.
We should have been allowed more time to do what we needed to do.
Yeah, well, they didn't even come out to have the discussions. We invited the mayors, we invited all the councillors, we invited these people to engage in an actual participatory democracy.
No one with power actually came to dialogue.
Some did, but nobody came from my knowledge to actually be in the GA discussions, be participating. They just wanted to talk from without and say about it what was happening from within, but what was happening within is some of the most vibrant discussions that you ever have. I searched for these discussions, When I was younger, I'd go to parties, I'd be like trying to find the 3 or 4 people who might be smart enough to actually engage in discussion. You come here, every single person there has something to teach me. My knowledge is like nothing compared to what the people there. So it's just the very beginning. 1 month. You think 1 month? If this thing fails, it's going to last 35 years. If it succeeds, it's going to last the rest of human species. We now know how to live right.
And we had a lot of good times at St. James too, man.
It was amazing, man.
And we had a lot of problems too, but you know what, man? It goes to show that in the end, man, we were willing to stick together,
And we worked through so many of their problems too. Like we didn't even know how to deal with half the issues. Like you were like learning as they came up. Like how we dealt with some violence. It was like so.
The St. James was only a tactic, right? That's all. There's only training.
It was a stepping stone.
It was only training.
Yeah, a stepping stone for more, exactly.
So now we know that we've got 100, maybe 1,000 problems we have to deal with.
Moving forward, we're gonna see occupiers spread throughout.
And at the new Occupy, the vegans aren't taking over.
That's right, we're gonna eat some meat there. Because I think marriage is kind of like vegetarianism. It's not for everybody, and those who think one way shouldn't put down those who don't.
Still killing.
Do you feel enough issues are being brought to the table that concern the right to life?
I do. I think there's a lot of good variety of issues, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen our fund? We have the living document first draft out now.
The living document?
Yeah.
Does that include the right to live?
I believe that one of the life concepts are on it. Yeah, like about the sanctity of life. But it's not like, I don't know, I'm not actually 100% of the whole thing because I read it.
Well, how do you feel about murdering unborn humans?
The abortion debate to me is senseless because you're never going to convince one way or the other. So I think it would be nice to just have an over-encompassing right to disagree. Like, you have
so
the right
you're
to
okay with oppressing unborn human beings?
With as a present individual, I'm not personally but I'm not okay.
So you're against it then?
As an individual, I don't believe in abortion, but as an individual, I believe in somebody else's right to choose for himself.
So murder is not your business then? If someone innocent's being murdered...
Here it is. Save the world from humans and problem solve.
Well, no, I believe I believe that as an individual, I would never want to...
Don't you feel that's an equal issue with
Well, for instance, I have a friend
you know
who's...
what it is? Every man, woman, and child has a right to decide their own destiny as they see fit.
I know
so
a woman
if you
who was...
abort someone's life in the
Excuse
womb.
me, I know a woman who was raped, a friend of mine, and she had a baby out of it, and she chose to abort it, and I would never take her right away from that.
I think the questions...
They're loaded.
Yo, brother, I think the questions that you're asking are really, really good because they really get people thinking, but, on an individual... people on individual, I don't...
Are you justifying murdering one life to save another?
It's kind of hard. Two people are talking, so you two go back and forth.
Like me personally, just because I'm against
No, it's a
abortion
human
doesn't mean that
topic.
the movement should be against abortion, and that's the whole thing. We don't have to always agree with what people say. We just have to have a respectful
your
way about
body.
it. If that woman supports
It's
gay
it's
rights
about-
and I don't,
Your body's
am I
not being
wrong?
aborted.
Listen here,
No.
buddy.
Your life is not
I
being
was
aborted.
raped by my uncle.
Is she
When
wrong?
I was
No.
11
It's
years
a matter of
old.
opinion.
So does someone
And
else...
I got pregnant when I was 11 years old. I was raped by my uncle. And you're fucking right, I had an abortion.
Okay, so...
It looks like he's
And don't
seeking...
you tell me that I'm a murderer.
It looked like he could be seeking his own argument, so he won't be cutting in what you're saying anyway, although what you're saying is so... I'm just saying, it looks like he's trying to cut whatever he's looking for anyway, so even though what you're saying is purely relevant, it looks like he probably won't adapt because he's got his own sway, so it's fine.
I'm not
Later on
editing
in
any of
life,
this.
when I was married, I had an account.
I gave you my channel.
Let her
Which
tell her
would have
story.
killed me.
Ask her about it.
I'm not going on the...
Anyway, but it's cool. No, I don't know, I believe in the sanctity
You
of
know
human
what,
life, but I
sister? We
believe...
all, but what I was saying before is that we're okay to disagree with what people do. Like, that doesn't, you know what,
You
sister?
know what?
No, I'm not going to have somebody use the word
But the
murder
issue
when
is-
they have no clue.
About being born and being alive?
About what women go
And
through.
having the right to live?
About what women go through.
What my own
Especially by
individual-
misogynists, men by you, obviously. I was a raped.
What my concepts of abortion are,
I was raped by a family member.